Hey Harrison and the Elevated Pictures team, thank you again for letting me do this audit for you guys. Today, basically, I'm just going to give you some feedback and tips on what you can look to adjust on your site to help with your organic rankings, okay? So, first things first, obviously, you guys do tremendous work, right? We're looking at your videos, we're looking at your photos, your brand stands out. You have lots of social proof in terms of, who and where you've worked, right? Big brands here, Billabong Sportsnet, obviously in Canada, that's going to get a lot of eyes. So it's building trust with your community, right? Now, the biggest thing, and this goes across the board when I'm talking with videographers, photographers, graphic designers, is they showcase their brand and what they do extremely well, right? But the one thing that seems to falter is what Google wants, right? So what Google wants is they want content. They want more in-depth information about who you are, what you do. And each element should be broader in terms of the explanation and why someone should pick you to be their next photographer or videographer, okay, for their business. So we need to expand on this, okay? So I'm going to go over some elements that we can focus in on and how we make some improvements here and there that it definitely will give you an opportunity to become extremely relevant locally, okay? So when I did a search, I wanted to search the two main keywords. So videographer Halifax is one, right? The volume's not high in this, it's about 50. So obviously not as many people looking for videographers, but there's a possibility to rank here, right? So being able to rank high for this means you're going to be potentially a top result. That gives obviously you more of this traffic volume, and that just means more potential contacts and leads and sales, right? Same thing when we're looking at Halifax photographers. Obviously, this is broad, guys, right? Like wedding photographers, obviously the most, 1.3 thousand a month. Dog photographers, family photographs, right? And just broad Halifax photographers is 590. So I'd want to focus in on this because it is possible to rank. And then when someone can possibly land on this page, you can break down your different services based on what you're doing: commercial, outdoor, portraiture, surfing, architecture, right? So let's break down how we make this more efficient, okay? So if we go back to the home page, I want to show you one of my programs here. I'm just going to bring this up. So I'm going to bring this up. This is going to show you more of a breakdown of how things are on your page. So when we're looking at titles and everything on your site, we're going to go look at specific things. Up here would be the title of your page, which is super long and it's getting filtered by Google, okay? So I'm going to show you what I mean in a minute. The next ones are your H1 tags. They're basically your main header on your each page, or what should be set up under each page. And on your home page, what it is this: together we go up. Okay, that's what you're telling Google what this page is, right? Now, I don't know about you, but I don't know what that could mean. That can mean a lot of different things. So ideally, what you'd have there is more of an explanation of who you are. And in this case, I would be more inclined to use something like, best videographers, best photographers in Halifax, right, in surrounding areas. Something like that that's going to be more specific to this page, your home page, which is going to be your main selling point, not only to people, but Google, right? Now this is a good tagline. I like that based on elevated pictures, right? But that could be somewhere down here, right? You could have more explanation of what you're doing. So I'd move that. I'd change this to something more relevant. And we're going to show you kind of what I mean in terms of the titles, the H1s that, I can pick up that should be improved upon, okay? So if we look at page titles, and this is the home page, we can see, elevated pictures. I have to move this over, it's so long. So elevated pictures, digital content company specializing in photography, videography, architectural imagery, elevated pictures. So you got it twice. Elevated pictures, elevated pictures. You can cut out this, okay? Now, ideally, you don't want these titles to be more than 60 characters, and all of them are over 60 characters. 100% of your site is over 60 characters. So that is not ideal, okay? So you want to include Halifax in here, guys. You really do. So titles should be maybe like Halifax Digital Content Company, or Halifax Digital Content specializing, we have to look at how we want to phrase this, but it would probably include Halifax, videography, photography. I don't know if I would include architectural imagery because it's not really being searched out, but I would say, maybe Halifax, videographers and photographers specializing in digital content, something like that, right? And then we'd want to possibly put that same title, or that without obviously your name in it, here, right? Like Halifax videographer specializing in digital content. You want to work around something along those lines, okay? When we get over to, say, the video page, right here in your URL too, it just has video content, okay? Which is, that's really vague. I don't know what that even means. But based on the keywords we've kind of narrowed down, again, what I would put here is Halifax videographers, right? And then in here, I'd have more text, guys. I'd push all of this down because these are your examples. That's going to be your selling point, but you need to have stuff up here. Remember I talked about the H1 tag? This is where we would say something like best videographers in Halifax, right? And then kind of give a blurb about, who you are, what you're doing, what are the benefits of videography for your business, and then you get into our videography examples, our video examples or samples, right? So start breaking that down, but you need more content on these pages, guys. This really, you can't just have your examples because Google doesn't know what's going on here, right? They don't know what's going on. People see them and be like, wow, it's really great, but you're not appeasing Google at all, so it's going to be hard to rank. So making sure your URL here has something like Halifax videographers, okay? Then your title on this page would be Halifax video production and videographers, right? Something like that, okay? And then you want something here as the main title, basically the same thing, right? So having all those connected is really going to make Google understand this page is videographers in Halifax, right? Simple, right? So look to build up more content on that. Another good thing would be to have an FAQ here, guys, right at the bottom. Talk a little bit more about the questions people have. What kind of cameras or technology do you use, right? What's your turnaround time? Like things that people are going to look for. You're going to want more information here. I would also look to have maybe a contact form below this as well on each of these pages. That way someone can easily just fill in their information if they want to reach out and start the conversation with you, okay? When we're looking at photography, this is the exact same thing, right? We're going to be talking about Halifax photographers, and then we're going to talk about the best, Halifax's best photography company. And then you're going to go into more detail about who you are, what you do, the benefits of having professional photos taken for your business, and then you're going to have these samples. Okay, they're going to be below it, just like the video section, same thing, right? Here we have the title, photography, elevated pictures, digital content. Again, too long, Halifax photographers specializing in digital content, okay? And then you can have your branded name there. That should probably fit, that would work, right? And then get more content. At the bottom, same thing, FAQ section, talk about what questions people ask in terms of your photography, okay? You look, go to Google, logo photography. People ask, these are most of the questions that they tie to app, right? What are some photograph skills? What is basic photography? Let's go with photographers. How much does it cost to get a photographer? Okay, so you don't have to put your prices, but you can kind of get an idea or explanation of what justifies the cost, right? And maybe a blog post in the future breaks down some of the costs related to the different types of photography that they might be looking at, right? That might be commercial, architecture, surfing, like some of your main ones, right, that you want to focus in on. That's going to be key, is developing the content of these pages, because right now there's just none. Right? You got your awesome pictures and your videos, but there's nothing else really helping Google out here. So if I go to commercial, for example, commercial photography, yeah, that's good. You can use that, but here again, we don't have a title, right? The H1 here. to explain commercial photography. Ideally, it would be Halifax related too, if you can, right? More information about what is commercial photography. Why are you the best commercial photographers? Obviously you have more samples. So you see how these formats are very similar, right? Like you can literally put more text, FAQs, a contact form. These things are going to help Google understand who you are, but also help conversions, because it's going to make it easier for them to just fill out a form without having to go to more pages. Okay, so again, those are some elements you guys can look at. It's simply adjusting, right? Outdoor adventure photography, good, but then it's just this, right? More words, get those H1 tags in, more verbiage, okay? You start filling that content information up. Again, you're going to have more relevancy than all these other photographers and videographers in Halifax, because no one's doing this, what I'm telling you, right? They're doing exactly what you're doing right now, is just showing photos and videos, which isn't enough, okay? You need the mix to start appeasing Google, okay? Here, I don't know if you have a Google My Business profile set up, guys, but if you don't, you should definitely look to get one set up, okay? Let me have a look here. It doesn't seem to be coming up. Okay, so I don't know if you have one set up, but I would get one set up ASAP, because realistically, 20-30% of your revenue could be coming from a Google My Business profile and somewhere in the maps, right? Like if I go Halifax photographers, see this? I'm getting maps. See this? These guys all have placement here, right? Their pictures, which is key. There's just more opportunity. You get the reviews, so it builds more social proof, right? These are all important elements. So if you don't have one of these set up, it's easy to set up. And I could show you, I can send you over my playbook guide so you can just walk through it and get that implemented. But definitely have this set up. And then what you can do is actually take that map for your business and embed it right here, okay? And it doesn't matter if you guys are a service business with no real location where people come. You can still do this as a service area, okay? Which is crucial. I do it for multiple businesses that don't have a physical location where they want to service people in. So look at getting that in place, okay? Other than that, I mean, you have your information here that you need. Maybe what I would do is switch this up. I would have this ahead of this. Okay, so your actual address ahead of this. But I mean, those are some starting points to get your page just set up more precisely for how Google wants it. And it's really content, guys. Okay, so think about what I'm telling you when I'm saying Halifax photographers. Okay, like you wanna have that in place. All right, same thing with videography. Build out your content, and you're gonna have a lot more opportunities to start ranking locally, because people aren't setting up their stuff like this, okay? So it already gives you an upper hand by doing it, and that's not touching upon any of the other elements like backlinks and even having a blog here, which I highly recommend you do in the near future, okay? Because Google wants to see fresh content. They want to see information that's relevant to all of these things you guys are doing, okay? Commercial photography, outdoor photography. Like, why do people need this? What's the benefits of it for people? These are things that are going to help drive more traffic to your site. And obviously, more traffic, more potential leads you're going to be generating for your business, okay? So those are some quick things that you guys can look to adjust. Like I said, site looks good, guys. Like, this brand's there. The photography and the elements are there. You really just need to beast up this information, right? If you want to rank for architectural photography, it's like you got to put more information in here. What is architectural photography? What does that involve? What are the benefits for a business? Why is someone going to use you to do that, right? Explain this here, because just this one image isn't enough, right? It's not enough for the people, and it's not enough from Google. So making your site more robust with content is going to go a long way, and it's going to give you a competitive edge over the other photographers and videographers that, again, are doing the same thing you guys are doing, you know, but you have the chance to beef up the content in the structures in terms of your pages and your titles and the, you know, your H1 tags. These things you can do pretty quickly, and it will have an impact. You know, within a month or two, it could have an impact. Okay, so I hope that helps, guys, in terms of, you know, just making those subtle adjustments. It's a good starting place to start, you know, really moving forward in the direction that you're going to want to with the business. So thanks again, guys, and I look forward to hearing back from you.